Hi everybody, I'm Anna Kachikin and this is the Anna Report, where every Wednesday I sit with you guys and we discuss dating and relationships. And this week's topic is how to make a woman feel safe. This is one of the primary, most important thing to women. So if you're gonna watch any of the live shows that we've done on the Anna Report, this is probably the most important one, I would say. I actually have my girlfriend, an old friend of mine coming on. She's now a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I have Madeline coming on, and it's funny, we haven't talked in years. She went on to become a therapist, and I went on, to do my entertainment, and now this. And we haven't hung out, so it's gonna be the first time we're gonna hang out live. So that's going to be awesome, and we get to talk about something that we're both passionate about, and I can't wait to ask her all the questions, okay? So to the topic of how to make a woman feel safe, as I said, it is probably the single most important thing that you can do and provide to your woman is making her feel safe. I can't think of a single woman who wouldn't agree with this, and I think that any woman who would disagree with this, I think they're just out of touch with their reality, but that's besides the point. I just want to do a quick priming for you guys before I bring Madeline on, and the first things first is I want everyone to understand that every single you meet, every single woman that you know, every single woman in your life is unique, okay? They're all special in their one way. There's not one like the other. So you can't judge women just as like a general thing. Literally everyone is there in their own world. But ultimately, every woman's primary need is to feel safe. Which is why I'm saying if there's any one episode that you could watch, it's this one. So now that you understand that every single woman is unique and special in its own way, another thing you need to understand is that you aren't trying to become the best boyfriend or husband. You are trying to become the best boyfriend and husband for that one woman, and that's all that matters. So don't try to be the best boyfriend or husband. Be the best for her. Be the best for her. Because she is unique in her own way. So if you can be the best for her, then you are just naturally going to make her feel safe. You're going to embody all the things that really make you trustworthy, which in return will make her feel safe. And what I really want Madeline to do when she comes on is I want us to define what it means to make her feel safe, physically, mentally, emotionally. Because it's not just about you having muscles and protecting her. That's not what we're talking about here. So I really want you guys to understand that. People are fighting about my hair, whether it should be long or short. That's awesome. Okay, we're gonna bring Madeline on. Hold on, you guys. This is crazy. I have not seen her in years or talked to her. Oh my goodness! Hi, girl. How are you?
Oh, good. How are you? Can you see me?
Yes, it's like a reunion.
I know. How are you doing? It's been so long.
Like a Facebook Live reunion. I haven't seen you in so long.
My mom is amazing. I didn't even know Facebook. Hi, Mom. How are you?
It's awesome how you went on to get your license in marriage and family therapy, and you specify in couples therapy and anger management. Mm-hmm. Which is perfect for this. I feel like you totally would understand.
Sometimes we just don't know how to express what we're feeling. And I think a lot of times that happens with couples is they don't know how to express what they're feeling. Like the underlying feeling of fear or sadness or unsafe, like you're talking about.
Words.
That's right. So then it comes out in an angry way, in a violent way, or yelling and cussing and calling each other names, and they just go off on this rant and nothing ever really gets solved because everyone's too busy yelling, and they do the battle of who can yell the loudest, who can say the meanest things, and then it's like they fight with each other and they forget that a relationship or a marriage is a union. You're not supposed to fight with each other. You're supposed to work together towards a goal or towards life.
Okay.
So when
and then
couples do the whole...
And then the primary thing that a woman is seeking in a man is safety. And biologically, historically, that makes sense, right? That makes sense why women seek safety. I mean, we'll get into that, but the truth is that's the number one thing. But it's not just about, oh, protect me, I'm a damsel in distress, I can't do anything myself. That's not what we're talking about. So can you just explain what we're talking about when we say women are looking for safety when it comes to a man?
Yes, definitely. I think you were very right when you said each woman is different and they have different needs. Part of feeling safe is not just physical safety, it's also emotional safety. So and it goes both ways, both partners, open lines of communication are so important. So when a woman doesn't feel safe emotionally, she's not going to be there physically. The intimacy is going to lack. So I have couples who complain that they don't...
Emotional safety.
So what that means is when the woman communicates to her partner, hey, I don't feel happy, or I feel so a lot of feeling words, like a lot of I feel statements followed by a feeling word is really non-accusatory, non-blaming whenever you're talking to your partner. So, an example would be, I feel sad when you go out with your friends at night and you don't give me a call, or I feel worried about you when I'm calling you and you're not answering. And instead of saying, why aren't you always picking up my phones? How come when you're with your friends, you're not, picking up my phone call? You're always with your friends and that's all you care about. So it becomes accusatory instead of verbally telling their partner, hey, this is my need and this is what I'm not needing. And then it becomes a safety issue is where the partner does not listen to the other partner and says, well, you're just blaming, you're just doing this. And then the emotional safety isn't there. So I don't feel safe to tell my partner, hey, I feel sad when this happens, or hey, you know what, I feel worried when this happens. It just comes off as fighting and accusatory, and I'm sure your listeners all know about that.
I think with a lot of men, when they hear their woman say, I don't feel like you listen to me, they feel shut down. And
Absolutely.
ultimately, I feel like
feeling word
ultimately,
after
I feel like
feeling
guys
word after
need to grow
the
a
word
pair of
feel.
balls and not care and really listen. It's like, who cares if that's how she feels? Listen to it and just what's the word? Apply what she wants.
It sounds like you're really frustrated with this.
but they shut down, and then the woman feels like, oh, I shouldn't speak up about how I feel because I don't want to shut him down. It's just a matter of accepting the fact that we are different, and one doesn't make it better than the other. It's just learning to cohabitate together. So if you love her, cherish her emotions, cherish her feelings, cherish her everything that she has to say. So that's the emotional one. And then the mental safety. The mental safety is one that I think most women don't even realize it's happening. They just feel it. It's a feeling. They're just like, I don't know, something's off. That's when I think a lot of women feel mentally not safe. They can't even pinpoint what it is. They just know that it's off. And what is it that men are doing that's throwing the woman off?
I wouldn't say it's one party usually in a relationship, because it takes two to be in a relationship. And I heard what you said when you said the woman is trying to communicate to say, hey, listen to what I feel like you're not listening to me. So with that delivery in itself, that is an attacking delivery. The delivery in itself, you always want to come from an empathetic and caring place. Now, sometimes because we don't know how to say that, it comes off as, I need you to listen to me, you're not listening to me. And then the guy goes, well, I don't want to listen to you because all you do is yell at me and nag at me and tell me what I need to do. And there you can see there's the fight. So the important thing is to switch your communication. Once the communication has switched, then, and the feelings are being validated and heard, instead of, yeah, I hear you, validated and heard, then the defenses go down, then the safety sets in. The emotional safety, the mental safety, now you feel connected with your partner. You feel like you're on the same wavelength.
So if the woman has had enough and she feels like she hasn't been heard in years, so when somebody can't hear you, you just yell, right? You go, hey, I'm talking to you, because you assume they can't hear you.
That's why people fight.
It's the same psychological thing that a woman starts yelling and the man's like, why are you yelling at me? Because I've been trying to tell you this for months and years and you just don't listen. So then it just comes off as a yell. So at that point, the man is like, like you said, you're yelling at me. Why are you yelling at me? And then how does he make her feel safe then?
So what needs to happen is they both need to sit down and talk about what the issue is. Yelling is you're never going to get your point across with yelling. Have you ever won a yelling match?
No.
Like there's always somebody that can yell louder.
But in defense to why people yell, it's a natural reaction why we yell, because when you haven't been heard,
right,
over and over and over again, you feel unsafe. So when you're not safe, right, you scream help. It's the same concept. So when she's yelling at you, I feel like I would if I were a man and my woman was yelling at me or anyone was yelling at me, I would think, whoa, what have I done to get this person to yell? I must have not been listening to them. The same thing when I'm driving. If a car is honking at me and I don't go, and then they keep honking, it's my fault. They already, hey, go, it's a green light, and I'm not going, and they just they're just going at it. I don't get mad at them. I'm like, I wasn't listening. So that's how, I just wish if men could have that sort of approach instead of shutting down, the approach of, what have I done? I must have not been listening to her for months for her to be yelling like this. Am I wrong? Is that a bad?
You can't, like I said before, you can't just look at just one side. It's always two-sided in a relationship. Yeah. So when the man shuts down, I mean, unless this has happened from the very beginning, then it's time for you to be in a different relationship, because, you know, you make your choices on who a partner you share your life with. But it's both ways. There's a special way of communicating what you need. And this goes for men and for women. You have to say, I feel a specific way, and then say what you want. Don't say what you don't want. Because we're so fast to fall into negatory statements, kind of like you said, you're not listening to me, I gotta yell, I have to do this, I have to do that, and then it falls into nagging, and then two people don't listen to each other.
Stick to the point. Stick to what you are feeling, what you do want.
Right. So and you always want to use empathy. You always want to use empathy when talking to your partner. Yeah. Because your partner is not going to respond to you if you're constantly accusing. And sometimes people say, well, I wouldn't accuse if X, Y, and Z would do what I say. Okay. And I say, okay, well, how did you approach this? How did you ask for the first time? Did you say, I feel worried when you don't pick up the phone. When I call you, I would like you to answer the phone because you're important to me. I want to know that you're safe. If you approach that instead of saying, whenever you're with your friends, you never answer the phone, I always have to tell you to call, that's accusatory. So that's going to have a different reaction. It's really important to hear each other, validate each other's feelings. And a lot of people feel like validating means that you agree. No, you don't necessarily have to agree with someone's feelings, but you have to validate them in order to be heard. So you don't have to yell. So for example, if I come home and I tell my husband about my day, my husband might say something like, oh, well, that's just the way the world works. Get over it. And then I feel invalidated. And I feel like, wow, my husband doesn't care about my feelings. Or he just ignores me and continues doing his work and says, you'll get over it. Or get over it. That's not validating my feelings.
But that's part of you feeling safe. Exactly. That's
right.
And
that's right. So,
and part of the whole safety is reliability, accountability, and trustworthiness.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's right.
I broke it down and I was like, if you are reliable, then I can rely on you to walk me to my car at night. If you are accountable, I can count on you to take personal responsibility for your actions. These are all very important things, or if you're trustworthy, that means you are who you say you are and you do what you say you're going to do. That is a huge thing. And a lot of times women will, I highly recommend this. Set the guy up. See if he's going to live up to the test, right? I was, for example, there was this girl who said, they were at the bar and then they were gonna go back to his place or her place or whatever. So he gave her directions and his car was parked right outside the bar. Hers was down the street. So he says, okay, you're good. So he gets in his car. She has to walk to her car. And then later on, she's upset about it because she was like, wow, why would I go on a second date with a guy who didn't make me feel safe on date one?
Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't.
If he doesn't even understand the basic rule of walk a woman to her car, because what are the stats? One out of 4 girls has been sexually abused by the age of 18. So naturally, women, by the time we are women, it's like a natural threat to us. So yes, when we walk to our car, we look around. You guys don't think about that. Men don't have to think about that. Men weren't taught to think that way. A lot of men actually who are fathers, I'm sure, with their little girls, they're like, be careful, look around, don't talk to strangers. We don't really teach our boys that because that's just how we are wired. And it's fucked up. It shouldn't be that way, but it is that way. And I don't think it's going to happen in our generation. So while we're at it, let's talk about how you still have to continue to make a woman feel safe. Because ultimately, I'm going on a date with you and I'm going on a date with you for marriage purposes, right? My brain, while you're talking about your dog Spark, I'm thinking about, is he dependable? Will he be there for me and my children? These are things that women think about because we want to make sure me and my cubs are going to be protected. It's a natural human thing. And so anyway, so back to the story. Yeah. The girl called him out and he felt like he was set up. And I'm like, really? That's your takeaway, dude? That's your take. Instead of, that goes back to accountability. Instead of saying, I'm accountable, I messed up, I should have walked you to the car. Lesson learned, I apologize. You're right. That's it. And move on. Don't be a little bitch about it, complain. Oh, she was a this, she did. No, just learn the lesson, apologize, and move. Be accountable and go forward with your life. I'm done with my rant. Oh, firefighters. Firefighters are the ultimate standard. Like they are what. Why do women love firefighters? Not all of them are hot, but we still love them. It's not about there are a lot of fat firefighters too. So it's not about their six pack. It's not about firefighters do not make a lot of money, by the way. They have a great retirement plan and great health benefits, but they do not get paid a lot of money, and women still love them, which goes to show it's not about that. It's just that firefighters protect us. They come and they save you. So you always have to make sure your pajamas match. Mine never do, so I'm screwed forever. But
men in uniform is what I'm hearing. Men in uniform is what I'm hearing you say.
Who protect you. They protect you. It's like they make you feel safe.
Right. I think I can piggyback off of what you're saying regarding firefighters. and that can kind of segue into the physical safety, is that
Exactly.
yeah, some women do want to feel that big and tall and muscular man there. And I think along with other, you know, men in uniform, they just project this type of structure. You know, their life depends on it. Their life has to depend on time and you know, because if they make a wrong move, somebody might die. So there's a lot of responsibility, like a lot of accountability, kind of like what you were saying. And they take that into their everyday life. So I believe, I can't speak for all women, but I believe that's why women find them attractive, is because of their physique and their, you know, strict schedule that they've learned either at, you know, the military or, you know, as firefighters or whatnot.
Mark says, in your mind, that's what you think is safe. Meanwhile, they are a bunch of chauvinistic drunks. Again, it's not about what they are, what they do. Their job is the ultimate safety, right? They know how to do CPR. They can save you from fire. They can help you when they can do anything. They are the ultimate. So, which is why I keep telling you guys that it's not about how you look, how much money you have in your bank account. It ultimately comes down to, can you make a woman feel safe? Anything else you want to add?
Just, you know, it's important. Honesty and communication is such a key. It's like the key between relationships. Honesty and communication. You need to have that. And remember, you're on the same team.
Like that, you're on the same team.
I think that's what's really important for our viewers to remember.
Yeah.
Remember, you're on the same team. You're not fighting each other. Right.
Yeah. You're all working towards the same goal. All right. It was so good to see you.
And that's life. I know. I'm so happy.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Okay. Take care. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Let me see if you guys have any last minute questions before I turn off. Hector says, the firefighter mentality, and I get her out of the dangerous situation. Exactly. Mark says, I believe in women in martial arts. Here in New York, I've seen women take care of themselves like true alphas. Nothing hotter than a woman that turns around to the drunk on the bus and tells them, yes, and I personally have, Madeline and I actually together, we used to take karate classes. Madeline she's crazy. I don't know what belt. She's probably like black belt at this point. Me, not so much. But I went on to do boxing later on. And so I did a lot of like self-defense classes and martial arts and boxing and all of that. And I remember part of the training was, especially with Tony, the trainer, with my boxing trainer, he used to, every time he would teach us things, he would always say to me, like, listen, you cannot use this on anyone. Like, this is a weapon we're teaching you, so you have to be really careful, and you cannot use it on people in public. So but if you do, I loved him. He would say, listen, but if you need to uppercut somebody, if you're gonna do it, just know that it's just gonna take one swing, and you better have his ass down, because it's just that one swing. So I would always practice that one hit. Oh, Erica has a comment. Erica says, it's very important to communicate with your partner about your fears so they know how to protect you if they don't know. So here's my takeaway from today, from Madeline, from the comments, from just discussing the topic of safety for women. It comes down to communication. It really comes down to the woman communicating to the man what she wants, and it comes down to the man communicating and listening to her when she communicates. Otherwise, if you do not listen when she communicates, then she's going to start yelling. When she starts yelling, you're going to shut down. It all comes down to communication. I feel like we just need another communication live topic. Steven says communication is very important for the woman. Always reassure her you care by calling and texting to make sure she's always safe. Nice session tonight, Anna. Say hello to your mom. She says hello. Last thing I want to leave with on this topic is I want to leave with a question for you guys. And I want you to, when you go to bed tonight, when you are alone, with your thoughts, when your head hits the pillow, think about this question and answer it truly to yourself. Be honest with yourself, okay? What would you say is your one strength you can offer your woman, and what is your weakness? So what is your strength that you offer to your woman, and what is your weakness? And once you define those two things, you will begin to think about a lot of other things, and it will really, really, really greatly help you. And then also, I also think when you define your weakness with true honesty with yourself, then every time your weakness presents itself, it's right here. It's right in front of your brain. And you're like, this is my weakness, and I'm aware of it. So you will feel responsible for it. You will feel reliable. You will feel accountable for it. And that in itself, she will just know. She will just know. She's like, he knows. He knows. He knows he fucked up. He knows he's not good at this. He knows he needs to work on it. And honestly, that's all that matters. All right, you guys. Have a good night. Mom, everyone's saying good night to you too. Bye. She says bye. And share. And thank you, Madeline, so much for coming on. This was awesome. Your insight, input, everything was amazing. And it was so good to see you after all these years. All right. Bye, you guys. Bye.